Hello my gorgeous friends on the internet, how you're doing? Okay, so in the last video we actually implemented the auth pages and then we navigate to this page here. All right, so what I'm going to do now, because normally once we navigate to the main page we are not allowed to go back, right? Because it's not going to be a good practice, okay, to allow users to click on the back button to go back to the next previous page. So what we are going to do, instead of using next page, we are going to use next page only. Okay, so what it does is that it clears the previous routes, okay, and then navigate to the next page. So let's save it up. Okay, then click on the button. Yep, so you can see that stuff is gone now. So what we are going to do now in this case is to create, first thing we need to do is to create the app bar. Then we can add an action button, which is like a sign out in case the users want to sign out from the app. So what I'm going to do first thing is to create, okay, this is the app bar. I'm going to add a title, and this is going to be the name of the app, so we can call it Wallpaper. So we should have a Wallpaper app there. Then we add an action button. This action button is going to be an icon button, so it's going to be we're going to use it to, in case we want to exit the application, okay, like we want to exit, so it's going to be that, and then we can have an icon, which takes a const icons dot exit, okay, to app. That's what I normally use. Okay, then I hope, yep, that should do. I don't like that error. Okay, so let's save it now, and you can see the button is here. So when you click on this button, it's going to call some authentication provider to sign out the user, and once you sign out the user, to take the user back to the login page, which is the auth page. Okay, but for now let's just leave it the way it is. Then the next thing we are going to be doing is to add the bottom navigation bar. Very important, right? Okay, so we're going to set up our bottom navigation bar for now, or we can just, yeah, no body for now, but let's add a bottom navigation bar. So what we're going to do is to set the state to actually reflect the page that was selected. So in this case we need to create a page index variable. So I'm going to set it to 0 initially, so it's going to be an int variable, so we'll call it page index. Okay, so I'll call this one 0, which is the first page. 0 stands for the first page. Okay, then here once we click on it, I'm just going to call set state, and then call the page index equal to the value, like so. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is to actually create the current index, which is going to be the page index. So if the page index changes to 2 or 1, it is going to reflect. Okay, then items, very important, but for now we don't really have any items, right? So what we're going to do is to create bottom nav items. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go over to the top area to create, because this bottom nav is going to be 2 pages, 2 items, 1 and 2. Yeah, basically 1 and 2. One is for viewing the whole wallpaper, and the other one is for viewing the downloaded wallpaper. So what I will do in this case now, just create a list. I want this to be a map because I want it to have an icon and also a title. Okay, so it's going to be a list of map, and I will call this one bottom nav items. Okay, like so, and then we can have a map. Then the first one is going to be an icon. Remember, you can actually add an image to this as well, so we can call this icons.home, and then the title is going to be home, right? Okay, then I can duplicate this. So what we are going to do next now, inside this bottom nav page, we are going to use a list.generate to actually get the index and also the icon as well. So I will go down here now to these items, and instead of using that, I'm going to say list.generate. So what is the length of the bottom nav we want to create? We don't know, because this stuff can actually change anytime. So we're going to use the length of this list, okay, by calling bottom nav items dot length. Okay, so we're going to be using the length of the list, and then we can return, yeah, the bottom navigation bar. But before we get that, we need to get the data, each of them using their index. So what I will do, I'll use final data equal to bottom nav items, and then I can pass in the index like so. Okay, all right, I think I spelled something incorrectly. Okay, then what I will do here now, just to return the bottom navigation icon. So this icon is coming from here, icon, so you can actually get the title as well. Then we can say the label. Okay, this is the label, so we can call it data and call it title like so. Okay, so I think that is it. So now what we can do is just to terminate this stuff here. So I think doing a hot restart may not, doing a hot reload may not work. So what I'm going to do is just do hot restart. Goes to this page, we click, and you can see we have our bottom nav page and this other page. Okay, but for now we don't have the two pages. So let's just create the two pages real quick before we call this part a wrap. Okay, then we can move on to the next sections. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go over to my bottom nav pages, and I'm going to create two pages basically. So I'll go over to, yeah, bottom nav page. So the first page, if you look at this now, we have the home page and also the download page. So I'm going to create a new file, and I'll call this one, I'm going to call it what is it called, download page. Okay, dot that. All right, and then I'm going to create another one again, which is called view all wallpaper page. So all wallpaper page dot that. So this is where we see all the available wallpapers. Then I'm going to call this to be just, let me just create a dummy test feed there. So I'll just have, it's going to be a stateful widget basically. So we're going to have this is going to be all wallpaper page. So I'll do the same thing again for the other page, which is download. So I will copy it and paste it here. So I'll just have to change the name. Okay, Control F. Okay, then you collapse this, change the name to download page. Okay, let's use it that way so it will just reflect. So what we are going to do now, we go to our main dot and then create those pages, okay, that we want to display. That is our main activity dot. So what I will do, I'll just create a list of widgets, because those classes are actually widgets. So I will call this one bottom nav pages. So I'm just trying to simplify things here. And so the first one is going to be all wallpaper, or I think I can change this thing from all wallpaper to wallpaper homepage. I think that name will be very good. So let me just change it to wallpaper homepage. Okay, like so, and this is better. So I'll go back to the main activity and then show this wallpaper homepage, and then the next one is going to be download, right? Okay, download page. Yeah, awesome. So we can close this. So now inside this bottom nav page, now we can actually reflect the page one after the other by going to body. Remember, that's a list, that's a list, so we can call bottom, and every list requires an index. All right, so we'll be using the page index variable which you created here as the index. Okay, like so. Save it up, and you can see we have all wallpaper. Okay, still showing in downloads, the same thing. So we're going to go to download page and change this stuff to, so you can see if we go to this page now to change to downloaded wallpaper. So now we have the two pages, okay, and we have the exit button page. All right, so now in the next, okay, one more thing before we actually call this a wrap is to add a button. So inside this all page, I'm going to add a floating action button. So this one will take us to the page where we can add a new wallpaper. Okay, so I'll call it floating action button. Yeah, let me just use dot. Okay, so that's fixed. If you look close, if we go to home page, now you're going to see the button upload. So once you click on this upload, it will take us to the next page. Okay, so we are going to call this part a wrap. So in the next section, we are going to complete the other pages, and then we can start integrating.